everyone, cynthialoowho here. Today we are going to make a faux wooden crate. And I see these things all over. People use them in their home decor, they use them for furniture, icing. I saw the other day a coffee table made out of 4 of them put together. It was so cute. Anyway, we're going to make a little mini version. So we're going to need some heavyweight chipboard, strong scissors, paper trimmer, hot glue gun, and let's do this. Okay, so you're going to need your chipboard is going to be, let me just figure this out real quick, 2, 1.5, so 2, 4, 5, 6.5, is that right? 2, 4, 5, no, it's 2, 4, 5.5. Sorry, I gotta figure this out in my head. So 5.5, so cut it at 5.5. You can use medium weight, lightweight, cereal box, whatever you choose. I recommend heavyweight, but if you don't have it, you don't have it. So, okay, now we're gonna score it at 1/2 inch. Now bring that score line to 2 inches. I just think it's a better measurement to go from score line to score line rather than to the edge. And score. Now bring this score line you just made over to 1/2 inch. And now bring that score line over to 2 inches. There we go. Now, you're going to see if we would have done 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch on each side. See how this side's a little bit shorter than that side? That's why it gives these the exact dimensions that they need to be. And this little flap's going to be glued anyway, so it's not even going to show. So now we're going to turn it this way, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch on this side. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, now get a strong pair of scissors, and we're going to cut this corner, this little teeny square out here. Pop that out. We're going to cut on these 2 score lines just to the score line, because we're going to get rid of that little tab there. And then we're going to cut this score line and this one and get rid of that little square. Now take your ends, I'm doing it at the end of my table, take your little ends and fold them down like that. And this is how I cut this tab out. It makes it easier for me. But do it your own way. If you have an easier way, do your way. So we're going to do that same thing on the other side. And these are going to be our little faux 2x4s. And if you have, you know, the chipboard color, that's already perfect. I might just do a whitewash on it just so it looks like wood, but a faded painted wood or something. I really kind of wanted to do a crackle, but I might do that on another one. I don't know how many I want, because this would be cute to just even put up against the wall and put some photos in it, maybe some seashells. Whatever tickles your fancy. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that all of our little tabs, so these tabs are all going to go on the inside and these are all going to go on the outside, and we're going to put glue on all those edges. And we're going to glue it together just like a box. And it's going to look like a little mini 2x4. So I'm going to glue along this tab, and I'm going to pop that in there and push that flap down real good. And then same with this side. I'm going to glue there, fold this flap over, nice and firm, and then same with this one. So you're going to need 4 of these long ones. I'm going to make the rest of those and I will be right back. Okay, so I made all of the big ones. Now I'm going to make a small one. I already have the other 3 done as well. So what you're going to need is a piece of chipboard cut at 9.5 inches long. By 5.5 inches wide. And these are going to be for the smaller sides. And you're going to need 4 of each side. Okay, now I'm going to switch to my scoring tool. And I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch. Same thing we did on the other ones, the big ones. Bring it over to 2. Score it. Bring the score line over to 1/2 inch. Bring the score line over to 2 inches. Now flip it, and we're going to do a 1/2 inch score on this side. And flip it around on the other side, and a 1/2 inch score here. Now take your scissors and cut these little tabs out like we did on the long ones. Chewy, get over here. Okay, I'm going to fold these down on the side of my table, and I'm going to cut that one off. So this should go pretty quickly, and the great thing about this is you can decorate it in so many different ways. And it's actually pretty strong, even if you're using some type of a cereal box or medium weight, because there's these boxes, once they're you know, a solid, I mean, that's pretty solid. You know, it's pretty strong, so it's going to hold up. And depending on what you're doing with it, it should last you a while. If not forever. Okay, so now we are going to take this smallest tab, and that's going to go on the inside. Glue that. Push it down real good. Make sure the tabs are all going to be facing the same way, and the ones on the outside are all the same on the outside. So these ones are all going over, and same with the bottom. Okay, now you're going to grab this. I suggest using heavy weight, because this is going to be your base, and you're going to be, you know, putting stuff in there. So okay, so we've got 4 small ones, 4 long ones. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, and we want all of where we closed our tabs over and glued, we want this all to the outside to be the nice part where the tabs aren't showing. So that's going to be on the outside of the crate, and where we glued the tabs closed this way, those are going to be facing the inside. So you're going to take your long pieces along your chipboard, and you're going to, if you can see this, let me lift it up a little bit. So there's a little, just under 1/2 inch on each side. And you want to make sure that that's even on both sides, so you have enough room to glue your short pieces on the end. So take your hot glue and try to hold it as perpendicular as you can. This way, you want it to go straight up. You want this to be a 90-degree angle. So it makes a box. Okay, now I have about, let's see if you can see, just a little bit under 1/2 inch there. And whatever When I put the small side on, it's going to cover that anyway, so you're not going to see. Okay, so I'm going to do the other long one on this side, another long one, making sure that, of course, all the tabs are closed this way, and the nice part of the box is going to be on the outside. Now, before you add these to your base, if you're going to do like a crackle finish, if you're going to paint it, if you're going to do something like that, I would do that before gluing these down. Just because it might be a pain to do it later, but it might not. So it just depends on what you're comfortable with, how you like to, you know, get in between things, because there's only going to be a 1/2 inch in between these. If you were going to like paint the top of this, there's only going to be a 1/2 inch space there. So now take one of your shorter ones, and that's going to be the end over here, and we're going to add glue along here and along these edges, so along this little area and these two. And then we're going to make sure again that the tabs go that way and you have your nice box on the outside here. So, and then when you put these on, you want to make sure that it's lined up here real good, lined up here real good, and everything's flush. Ooh, got a mosquito. Had to get that. I don't want to get bitten by any mosquitoes with that Zika virus and all that other stuff going on. Okay, now another small one on this side, over here. Put that on. Okay, and then for your brackets, which are going to connect these ones to the base, that's going to be these. So you're going to need some heavyweight chipboard again, and it's 2 inches by 2.5 inches, and it's scored on the long side at 1 inch. So you'll have an inch on, you know, each side. And then on the 2.5 inch, all I did was I took my ruler, which is 1 inch width, and I just put it at the very bottom, drew a line, put it on this side, drew a line. You're going to need 4 of these. So 2.5 long by 2.5 inch wide, and the 2.5 inch wide is going to have a score line directly in the center at 1 inch. And what we're going to do is we're going to glue this bracket in here, and we're going to make sure that that lines up on the pen line right there. And then our next flap or piece of wood is going to go right to that pen line there. So this is our little bracket. There's going to be one in each corner. And when you put it in here, make sure you line up the pen, but then make sure it's also nice and tight in that corner. So I see there's a shadow casting. So it's kind of hard with the shadow. There we go. So I've hidden the pen line, but just enough to hide it. I didn't push it down too far. So put one in each corner. Shh, Chewy. Chewy, go out with Dad. Come on. Let's go get Dad. Go. Go get him. Go. Oh, sorry about that. She barks too, and hers is very high-pitched and annoying. But I'd give anything to hear Bubba's bark right now, I'll tell you. Okay. Number 3. And the last one. I can't wait to have like a little, a mason jar with some hydrangeas. How did that come out? See that, how that popped out there? I wasn't pushing it in enough on the bottom. All I would need to do is heat that up with my heat gun and slide it. That's what I'm going to do real quick. Real quick. I can't have it that uneven. Once I can start to move it. Yeah, the bottom here. I didn't get it pushed in good enough on the bottom. I can hear the fibers tearing, but I still want it to be right. Pardon that little mess up, but that's how you fix hot glue. You just heat it up and move it if it's something like that that can be heated. Oh, and then look at what oh no, that's on right. I was gonna say I did it again over there. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we are gonna line these long ones up with the other line, making sure just to cover that line. Just like that. So I'm going to put glue here and here. Make sure my tabs are facing inside. So just like that, and then I'm going to flip it over and put some pressure on there, make sure that it's even all the way across. There we go. And then I'm going to do the other long side, which is this one. Same thing, I'm going to put the glue here and here. Line it up on those pen lines. And then now the shorter sides. Those are going to go on the end. And I'm going to put glue here, 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 and here. And then make sure that this is flush as it can be. And I don't need to cover the pen lines, I just need to make sure that this is flush with these. And now this side. And just as easy as that, we got ourselves a crate. A faux crate, a faux wood crate. Isn't it cute? So I'm probably going to paint this. You can put paper on it. You can do all kinds of stuff. And it is very strong. And you can put a little flower pot, a watering can, a mason jar. You can take it this way and put it on your wall and put some little framed photos, some seashells, whatever you want. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please share it with your friends and subscribe to my channel. And thanks so much for coming by and watching my video. All right, bye!